What's up, Guardians? Profane here, and thanks for checking out the video. I really appreciate you all taking time out of your day to watch this video. We're going to be going over the best exotic weapons to use in Season of Worthy today. So we'll be breaking down the 5 best exotics for PvP and PvE. There are more than 30 exotic weapons at the time of this video, each with their own unique abilities, but which ones will make it to the top of our list? Well, first, let's tackle the top exotics to use in PvE, which can be a bit subjective towards the vast activities that we currently have available. There's a very high focus towards the new generation of champions that we're having added into Nightfalls, Nightmare Hunts, and seasonal content. And with that being the case, it can narrow your selection down quite significantly. So even though you may have a vast collection of weapons in your vault, only a handful of them may actually be beneficial for you right now in PvE. In fact, only a handful of exotic weapons are suitable under the new battle mechanics. With that being said, the Ariana's Vow will be the first featured top exotic to use. With an astounding 90 rounds per minute, the Ariana's Vow hits like a truck. A true sniper meets hand cannon affair story. The catalyst is what really makes this weapon stand out for me. Ariana's Vow already comes with the bonus damage when aiming down sights, additional damage boost if your first shot is precision, or if you break a solar shield. It also comes with anti-barrier rounds. With the catalyst perks applied, you get an increase in your ammo size from 6 to 9, and auto reloading holster, meaning that you can swap back and forth between weapons and never have to reload, because trust me, it takes forever to reload this thing. The unfortunate thing is that for newer Guardians, the Ariana's Vow is not currently available. It's locked away as seasonal content, and at this time we don't know when it will return. Another solar weapon makes its way into the list for our next top exotic. The Xenophage is a relatively new exotic weapon, but after it spent some time on the shelf, it is fresh off of some fine-tuning and buffing at an ideal time. Season of Worthy has introduced many things, one of which was a significant nerf to sniper rifles and fusion rifles. This cleared the way for Xenophage to become a significant DPS weapon in in-game activities. At 120 rounds per minute, it's the slowest firing heavy machine gun, but with maxed out impact and explosive rounds, this thing is a great addition to your loadouts for Gambit, Raids, and Nightfalls. Xenophage is available through the Shadowkeep DLC and does require completing a lengthy and challenging questline, but it's definitely worth the efforts and can be fitted into any loadout under pretty much any type of activity, even if it's PvP. The next weapon we're looking at is a weapon that has truly stood the test of time. The Risk Runner was a remodeling of a D1 auto rifle named the Zalo Supercell, which was highly regarded for its ability to chain lightning damage while reloading the magazine automatically. The Risk Runner takes those same mechanics but adds some unique twists. First, we have Arc Conductor, which increases the damage while increasing your incoming arc damage resistance. This essentially makes you hard as hell to kill and provides pretty much an overshield for you as long as you're getting kills, which extend this perk. While Arc Conductor is active, Superconductor, the secondary perk, will chain lightning damage and return ammo to the magazine from reserves. Risk Runner does have a catalyst, but sadly it's just not one that makes a significant change to the weapon's performance, as it increases the range slightly. The Risk Runner continues to prove its worth, as it continues to be a go-to weapon in many loadouts for in-game activity and world's first records. The next exotic that we're looking at has definitely seen its own fair share of ups and downs, but it remains to be a heavily used weapon and a go-to for many in-game activities. After a recent change up to its perks and overall stats, the Izanagi's Burden is definitely not the sniper that it used to be and not the one that we fell in love with, but it continues to shine because of its ease of use. It's light and snappy, and of course I'd rather have Outlaw back, but no distraction is still a solid perk to have towards PvE. Honed Edge is really the selling point here, as is having the catalyst to boost that damage. Now, getting a 4 times damage boost to your shot along with increased range can make some very quick work out of some big beefy bosses. When paired up with a solid energy weapon, the Izanagi's Burden is a weapon that you can literally take with you anywhere, which you rightfully should, as it nearly depletes your soul just grinding out for this thing. It really does take a long time to get the Izanagi's Burden, but once you get it, it is most certainly worth it and continues to shine in Season of Worthy. Hands down, I would still rather have an Izanagi's Burden than the Whisper of the Worm, which is why the Whisper of the Worm did not make the cut for my top 5. But it is definitely still a solid sniper. But in my opinion right now, for Season of Worthy, Izanagi's Burden is most certainly still a top 5 exotic contender. The final weapon that we'll be showcasing for the top PvE exotics will be the Lumina, or the Lumina, whichever you pronounce it, as I've been corrected either way. The thing here, though, is that most of you most likely feel surprised that I would say that this would be a top 5 exotic. The Lumina is most certainly an overlooked exotic. Its quest for the weapon was very nostalgic for veteran players. It brought to life a lot of the early lore, but once it arrived, it was passed over just as quick. To this day, the Lumina falls shy of many other exotics in overall use, but has substantially game-changing perks that can make the difference in in-game activities. The Lumina was designed to be the opposite of the Thorn, so it comes with 2 big-time perks. The first perk is Noble Rounds. Kills with this weapon generate remnants, which when picked up become Noble Rounds that can be fired toward teammates to heal and increase their reload. You can do this by firing them in hip fire, and these will track down your teammates. Now, if you add that to the secondary perk, which is Blessing in the Sky, by doing the Noble Rounds, it not only increases the reload and heals your teammates, but it increases both your damage and their damage. Now, the Lumina recently got a catalyst, which increases the 1 Noble Round to 2 Noble Rounds. So for every kill that you can get and pick up the remnants, you're then able to make Noble Rounds, and actually make 2 of them instead of 1, and share those with your team, making this a very significant boost to your damage in any type of endgame activity. Pairing these up with other perks can make a significant change to any type of endgame activity that you're in. So with its ability to not only heal, but also enhance reloading speed and increase of damage for not only oneself but one's teammate, the Lumina surely makes the cut for top 5 exotics in PvE during Season of Worthy. If you feel like one of your favorite exotics should have been in the top 5, by all means let me know in the comments below, and let me know why you feel like that exotic should have been in the top 5 list. Alright, so let's switch things up and move over to the competitive side of Destiny, which certainly opens things up for exotics, and we have certainly seen quite a few standouts this season. So let's dig into the top 5 exotics to use in PvP for Season of Worthy. The most notable, of course, being the Hardlight. After a significant boost in stats, auto rifles have made their way back into the meta, and with the Hardlight's non-stop spray ability of ricochet bullets, it can be quite scary and daunting to go up against. In fact, it melts, and until Bungie says otherwise, the Hardlight is on fire. 2 other exotic auto rifles will make the list as well, but for very different reasons. The Monte Carlo and Suros Regime are both fantastic weapons, and after the auto rifle buff, they've certainly stood out as go-to weapons. The Monte Carlo is all about pure damage output. Having its own version of Swashbuckler, the Monte Carlo creates synergy between melee and weapon damage. And with the right matchups in subclass and gear, the Monte Carlo can be an unstoppable behemoth. The Suros Regime, at its base form, is an interesting weapon, as it offers 2 different firing modes, each with their own pros and cons. The perk Suros Legacy increases the damage of the bottom half of the magazine, and kills have a chance of returning your health. Getting the Catalyst will increase that chance. The Suros is fast, it's light, it has excellent recoil control, excellent targeting acquisition, and it has an amazing synergy. Next up is the Bastion Fusion Rifle. Bastion is a newer exotic, but has quickly and in true Saint 14 style impressed many Guardians out there, including myself. Maybe it's the pretty purple ribbons hanging from the barrel, or maybe it's the 3 powerful slug shots that can down a 3 deep barrage of guardians. But there's just something about this fusion rifle that is really clicking right now. Bastion brings a much needed balance to the game after many other fusion rifles saw reductions to their overall performance. Its biggest drawback though is the lack of range, but with the ability to take down guardians in super without a problem and being able to shut down shotgunners, these are things that you just can't look away from. Now, even though Vorpal weapon has become a good stat to have on different weapons, the Bastion still remains a go-to weapon in many 6-man activities. The final exotic included in our top 5 exotics is the Thorn. Earlier, I spoke of weapons that have stood the test of time. Well, the Thorn is no stranger to that. An iconic D1 hand cannon returned to D2 at a time where hand cannons have seen a lot of recent changes. Performance with hand cannons have seemed to drastically change between console and PC, but regardless of what platform you're on, the Thorn is still a predominantly used hand cannon, and it does exactly what it's made to do, and that's to piss the other team off. I mean, the Thorn quickly became legend for its remarkable abilities to burn its victims for long periods of time, allowing for excellent tracking opportunities and slow, painful death. This 190 round per minute hand cannon boasts some significantly effective perks, starting with the mark of the Devourer. Bullets will pierce targets and deal damage over time. Kills will leave behind remnants which proc the Soul Devourer perk, which strengthens the effects of Mark of the Devourer, and partially refills the magazine. Since its original creation, the Thorn has been a featured exotic weapon within the PvP. After all the tweaks and all the nerfs and everything that this weapon has been through, it continues to stand strong as a top tier performing exotic in PvP. And that's going to wrap up the top 5 exotic weapons for PvP in Season of Worthy. Again, if your favorite exotic didn't make the list, by all means let me know in the comments below and let me know why it should have made the list. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If so, be sure to hit that like button below. It's greatly appreciated, helps the channel grow, as does hitting that subscribe button if you didn't already. If you've got nothing else to do before leaving the video, be sure to check out my description below. I've got a couple of really good links for you, one of which is to my Discord where you can join the Profane Nation. Until next time though, this has been Profane and I wish you guys some happy hunting.